Friday. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects and things to think and talk about is saving money. It's so important in everyday life. First, the mindset came to me. I started and ran my business back in Maine for 20 years. And what I quickly learned, which I think it's just part of me anyway, every dollar counts, but especially in a small business, sometimes it's easy to make money, especially if you have a good product or good service and you have a good following, you can bring in the money. The problem is where that money goes out to, your spending, to make that money coming in, the cost of goods sold, cost of goods to provide a service. So I learned quickly that I have to I did it pretty much every week, every quarter. I would look at what am I spending on and how much is it costing me. That mindset, it's really important, especially in a home kitchen, especially if you have a family, you're buying groceries every week. I think back to my sister and I, Peggy. Peggy and I, we love our circulars. I don't know if this is an old-fashioned thing, if young millennials kind of are trained in the circular mindset. I see a lot of them shopping at Whole Foods and Earwan. This is way out of my budget. So today I'm going to take you to one of my favorite markets down in Coral Gables, a few minutes from here, Fresco Y Mas. I'm going to show you how I shop and the mentality I go through. Because honestly, if you're paying $2 more a pound for chicken, we're going to go through the math and you're going to see the difference, the savings every week, every month, every year. After that, I'm going to show you what you can make with one simple ingredient. A $5.99 container of cream. We're going to make 2 8-ounce containers of buttermilk and 2 beautiful pieces of butter. One salted, one unsalted. And we're going to go through how simple that is and what the savings are. Again, home economics, just thinking about things. Maybe you have heavy cream just sitting in your fridge and it's something fun to do on the weekends with kids. Or maybe it's a ritual that if you see a sale on heavy cream and you want to make your own butter and know exactly what goes into that butter, or flavored butter, even more fun. These are just fun ways you can save money in the kitchen and have an overall savings over your budget throughout the year. The other thing you'll learn about me is I love math. I do. I always have since a young age. So math, budgeting, saving money, home economics, that's my jam. But people always say, oh, why do I need to know math? Like when you're younger and you don't like going to math class. But it really comes in handy in life, especially simple math. Anyway, back to my circular. Pretty much every other weekend, we go to Fresco Y Mas. And I always look at especially the chicken, because chicken is a protein that we love, most people love if you're not vegetarian. Oh boy, we're doing a fire alarm test here. So I always look at that because chicken also, another pet peeve of mine, like the butter price, chicken went sky high, and especially when we lived in New York City. I couldn't for the life of me when we first got there find a reasonable price on chicken. It takes ferreting out, especially looking at your circulars every week, because they always have they always show chicken of some form, drumsticks, thighs, skinless, boneless, whole chickens, whatever. But boneless, skinless chicken, probably the most popular chicken people use, can really fluctuate. So about every third week, they usually have a generally really good sale on it. So buying in bulk is another thing. Like, don't buy a pound of chicken. Get 3 pounds, 5 pounds, and then cut it up, put it into portions, put it into freezer bags, and freeze it. So you buy in bulk when the sale comes. So here's $2.48 a pound. Not the lowest I've seen, but pretty good. If you were to buy 3 pounds, say, which is, we're only 2 of us, so generally I'll buy 3 pounds at a time, maybe 5. So that's going to cost $7.50. 3 pounds times $2.50, $7.50. If you were to just randomly not go on the sale, go in there and grab chicken, it's $5 a pound, which is being generous. Sometimes it's $5.99 a pound, $6.99 a pound, or more. I'm going to use a rather conservative higher number, 3 pounds times 5. So it cost me $7.50, got it on the sale, and it cost someone else $15. So each time they go and do that, there's a savings of $7.50. Let's say you buy that chicken once a week or every 2 weeks. If you were to buy it once a week, by the end of the year, you would have saved $375 if you did my shopping and looked for the sales. And if you just buy it every other week, you still would save $185 a year. You know, think about it. Yeah, oh, 185, no big deal. Well, you multiply that times the pork you're buying, or the beef you're buying, or the salmon you're buying, or the shrimp you're buying, and always look for those sales where it's at least half price, sometimes more, but always a good percentage cheaper. And you multiply that savings across the other proteins you buy and the other produce you buy, and you're going to see thousands of dollars a year saved. Think about it. You could take a nice trip to England like we just did, thousands of dollars saved. And you know what? It's kind of like, not a game, but it's fun to be responsible with your money and see where you can save, and then have that money as a treat for yourself, or buy something important that you need for the home. Anyway, why waste money? That's my point. Why waste money when it's so easy to save? Yeah, and it's a muscle. We're building that muscle again, along with kitchen confidence. It's just doing it once a week. And why don't you try this? Have like a tip jar. Like we put our change into a jar, and every 6 months we cash it out and use it for fun money on whatever weekend trip we're taking. But every time you make a significant savings, especially in the first few months you do it, take that amount of savings and put it into that jar. My final point, well, 2 things I'm going to say about home economics for today before we get into the episode, is that eating at home, it again, a muscle. It's easy to eat out, sure, grab something on your way or order something, but for pennies, for a couple dollars, if that. Look at this, BLT. I hope you can see it. Oh my God, so delicious. Some leftover bacon from the weekend, from breakfast, tomato, lettuce, good bread. Probably cost me $1.50 maybe tops to make this, and you could buy it for between $6 and $9 probably out on the street. But in my Sassy water, I don't have to buy bottled water, because if you get your water tested, instead of just saying, oh, I don't drink tap water, get your water tested. If it's fine, I like to add, people always ask me, what are you drinking? It's what I call Sassy water. I have some fresh mint, it's so good for my body, my digestion, cucumbers and lemon. And I drink this all day. It just makes drinking water more fun and delicious, and easier. So I'm not gonna delve on that. That's a whole nother subject about eating at home. Part of the fun of moving to a new area for me as a cook is seeing what they eat in the new area. So here in Miami, lots of new produce. Some I've seen, some I haven't. I haven't cooked prickly pear. Looking forward to that. Loving these new mini red bananas from Honduras. They're the most delicious bananas I've ever eaten. I love shopping at more local supermarkets here in Miami, because you always get better prices, better produce and proteins, I find. So I love my cilantro. Cilantro, look how fresh. Culantro, which I love too. Look at these prices. Nope. And what? I never used to find nice watercress in Maine. Look at this watercress. It's always here. So if somebody's growing it, it's a great price. So part of my home economics, like use the circulars, use the sales, go to your local markets. Don't just stay at Whole Foods or Dearborn or however you say it. Too much money being spent there. Okay, this is what I wait for and I watch for. The circulars, $1.48 a pound on the skinless, boneless chicken, which is generally the most expensive chicken cut. The other thing is, we drink a lot of coffee here, as do most people, so huge savings in watching for the sales on coffee and then loading up. So here we go, $2.48. I talk to people. Most people know I like to talk. I talk to the locals. I like to meet people. So while you see me, I'm showing you the deli section, and you see the old pork, the roast pork, and the old ham. I think it says El Toro ham. I went in there with the mindset that day I wanted to make the old Cuban sandwich, that's traditional down here that everyone loves. We love it too. So I need the Cuban bread. I need to find the right selection of meats. There's usually a ham and a pork and a pickle, and a good Swiss cheese. So while I'm waiting in line, it's kind of slow here in Miami, the service. Everybody talks, whatever, there's no rush. While I'm waiting in line, I'm looking at a couple of meats that I think I would pick. But then the man next to me, although he didn't speak English, I just pointed to the two meats and I said, Cuban sandwich, Cubano? And he said, yeah, that's what he was buying. Well, that's what I'm buying. They know, go with what the locals say. Meet people. It makes life more interesting. Different cultures, different foods, different way of life. But you always learn something from the locals, always. This is the slow roasted pork that my new local friend advised me to buy. I got it sliced exactly how he had it sliced, slightly thicker than I might have. Perfect for the Cubano. And that great ham. So 2 things I learned, very important, and we made the best Cubanos today ever. I'm showing you that video of me checking out at Fresco Y Mas, and inevitably, we always get out of there with a huge amount of protein and produce for like $100. This day was no different. Look at everything that's coming down that conveyor belt. $115. That is a lot of food. That same amount of food over at Fresh Market, we never get out of Fresh Market under $300. So huge savings when you look at circulars, you shop at different markets, just, use the old noodle. But the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I saved this so I could show you. Now that we've shopped and had great savings, let's make butter out of 1 ingredient and see what we can save there. More home economics. Much better. Okay. It's like being in school. Home economics is in. Home economics is in session. All right. Today we're talking butter, which I don't know about you, but during the pandemic, the prices of everything went up, yes, but butter in particular was a real sticky point for me. It shot up sky high and it's been very slow to come down. And everyone needs butter. The sort of conspiracy theorist in me, it's a little part of me, thinks, they're trying to gouge us. Like people, they see a way, the prices go up, they don't come down, whatever. Today, we're gonna make homemade butter, homesteading in Miami. Very simple thing I bought on Amazon, a little butter churn. You could do this in a canning jar and just shake it. You could do it in your KitchenAid mixer with the whisk, handheld mixer, any of those things. But I thought it was so cute. And I miss my little gadgets from Maine Living. And it comes with these little butter paddles. So we're gonna go through a little home economics exercise. I love my circulars. So, flipping through here to look at the prices of butter, I see that this week, these 5 butters that I got, which surprised me on one of them, let's see if you can guess it. Vermont Creamery on the top came in the least expensive, 8 ounces, $2.35. Fresh Market, there's the real, Fresh Market is very high around here. That was equally as inexpensive, $2.35 for 8 ounces. Publix, $3.31, 8 ounces. Plugra, which claims to be a European style butter, which actually was really good, but they use American dairy. Anyway, I don't know what's going on there, but that's $4.49. And then coming in at the top spot, of course, our beloved Irish butter, the Kerrygold. gold standard of butter, $4.99 at 8 ounces. So most people buy, like me, 16 ounces of butter. So you'd be a range at the low end, $4.70 for 16 ounces, all the way up to our Irish Beauty, $9.98 for 16 ounces. So today, I'm gonna show you, I bought the cheapest heavy whipping cream I could find. Happy Belly. It has 36% milk fat, which you need to make butter. Heavy whipping cream, and this is 1 quart at room temperature. And we're gonna get ready to churn. So 1 quart equals 32 ounces. And by the time we finish this little exercise of home economics, I'm going to show you how much butter can be made out of this and how much savings we can do by doing it at home in just like 30 minutes, 15 minutes of hand crank, or using the mixer, whatever you prefer. I'm gonna get a little workout today on my biceps. So that's another benefit. By the time we finish this, I'm gonna show you the savings. And I think it's gonna be significant. And not only that, but you're making your own butter, which is fun, something to do with kids, something you can do whenever you have time. It's gonna be more delicious. I guarantee you that. Okay, I turn the scale, it's on 0. I'm gonna add half of this, 16 ounces of the heavy cream into my churn. Oops. 16, okay, perfect. That's half of this, so that would be $3 worth of cream. $3 worth of cream. Now this, I have to do with my left hand because I've got a shoulder issue going on, too much golf. I get it in there. Right to tight. Doing my left hand, here we go. Let's put the timer on. 15, I think they said 15 minutes I should do this. I used to do this with the Surrey elementary school kids when we did the mini workshops, and I did canning with them to make jam. We also made butter. We did it the shaking method, so this is new to me, this little crank. I think I'm gonna love it. Here we go. 15 minutes on the clock. I might want to go this way first. Let's do that. It's been 6 minutes has transpired. I'm telling you, this is hard. I probably will use my KitchenAid next time. And I have to use my bad shoulder because I'm not that ambidextrous with my left hand. So this is how I'll show you in a few minutes what it looks like halfway through. You can feel the tension in there building, so I know that it's what's not coagulating, it's becoming more solid. The milk solids are separated. I'm dying now. My arm's sweating and my arm hurts. Anything to save a few dollars. Oh, my fingers broke. Oh no. Oh no. The first time I'm using this thing from Amazon, it already broke. I think I stripped the gears. I don't really know. I'm not very mechanical, so we're gonna be going in the KitchenAid next. But I'm gonna show you, I think I'm maybe halfway done. I won't be using this anymore. Maybe it was a sign. I believe in my signs. Yes, look at, okay, can you see this? Do you see how thick it already is? We're getting there. But I'm gonna have to transfer into the KitchenAid to do the rest. Okay, so in we go to the KitchenAid to do the rest of the mixing. We still have like halfway to go. We're a little beyond whipped cream stage. It smells good. Yeah, it's kind of fluffy. Kind of fluffy like whipped cream. See that? Like when you're making buttercream frosting or something, or whipped cream, just making whipped cream. I make whipped cream a lot just from heavy whipped cream, and I always use my KitchenAid mixer. I don't really know what I was thinking, my whole homesteading thing today, using that little churn. There's that. Turn this, I'm gonna give it another 8 minutes. This time we're gonna go for 8 more minutes. Medium high, medium. You hear that? Oh. There's our beautiful butter. Transfer, let's go like this so you can see it. Transfer it into the bowl. It's really, really nice. Next batch I make, because I still have half the cream left, I'll make it with salt. This will be unsalted. The next one will be salted. Let's have a taste. Creamy. That's good. Okay, aside for the next one. And then here is our buttermilk. Ooh, got at least 8 ounces exactly. Interesting, right? That's very interesting. Exactly 8 ounces of buttermilk and exactly 8 ounces of butter. Very interesting. But I'm gonna take this soft, beautiful, creamy butter. I mean, look at the consistency, and you see there's still more. I'm just gonna squeeze it a bit. There's still more buttermilk coming out. Squeeze it like this, and then I'm gonna put it in ice water and continue to get out a little bit more of the buttermilk. Let's squeeze it like, look at, can you see how nice that is and creamy? That's beautiful. So much fun. Took 15 minutes. I'm about to hear the timer go off. Turn that off now. All right, let's put the rest of it in there. It's probably gonna overflow. Ooh, exactly. Okay, there's our buttermilk. I love to use buttermilk in cooking. Beautiful. Now, the ice water, just put your beautiful, oops, I lost a little bit. A little bit of butter there. Put your nice thing of butter, big wad of butter, into the ice water, and we're just gonna, can you see what I'm doing? So now I'm just gonna do this to get the rest of the, you see how it's still a bit cloudy? I'm just gonna kind of squeeze it out, the rest of the buttermilk, and I'm gonna probably do it another time so that the water's clear. I'm gonna do this until the water's clear. Okay, I'll just change the water. Cold water again. It's good. So this is the second half of that cream container, and I'm doing the whole process in the KitchenAid mixer, and you see how much easier it is. And you can hear when the milk solids, the buttermilk has separated out, and you can hear it slapping around. That's when you know it's time to turn off the mixer. Okay, it didn't take that long. It's kind of messy. I did break my Amazon churn. I'll send that back. One time used, it's already broken. But I will say I'm a little surprised it wasn't more overwhelmingly of a savings. I mean, there is a savings, there definitely is, and it's fun to do, especially teaching kids about food, where food comes from, how it's made, the science of it. It's very interesting. So our $5.99 container of pretty much the cheapest heavy cream I could find, and I think the quality, it tastes delicious. So I will play with this with maybe some other creams and see what happens, but I'm happy with this. I have a salted butter and a regular plain butter, no salt, and I weighed these up. They're not exactly 8 ounces each, which is interesting. It came to about 12 ounces and 0.5 combined, so they're like 6.25 each. And these are in 8 ounce. This is my buttermilk. This is what was left over, the liquid. And buttermilk is can be kind of expensive. So I have 2 of those for baking, nice chocolate cake or pancakes, whatever. So I've got my 2 butters. Let's just call that, well, we won't call it 16 ounces because it's not. So my mass, we take the $5.99 cream, and we got products between these 2 different products at the equivalent, if I price them out on the market, of $10.79. So we saved $4.80, or I should say we made $4.80 value added products. If you were doing this, you have a large family, use a lot of butter, a lot of baking, and you're gonna sort of spend a day butter making, I could see it, definitely. And if you got your cream on sale, things like that, definitely worth it. But if you could see the mess in my I wasn't kidding. I mean, look at the butter mess I have got to clean off of these dishes. A lot of hot soapy water and soaking. It's like getting peanut butter off. It's not fun. So that is not a good thing. I don't know if this is going to be a regular practice for me, but you know where I could see the real value? There is some value here, for sure, but the amount of input going in and output, not convinced. But I would definitely, for like a special occasion, make herb butters, spicy butters, sweet butters, so like with honey and things, cinnamon, for special occasions, because that you really can't find on the market readily, and that would be worth it. So anyway, that was my home economics test for today. Thank you for joining me. See you next week.